Alright, welcome to the next update of my Particle Systems pack. So I've added a lot more materials, a lot more particle effects, and I've updated many of them. So let's jump right in. We still have this guy, the black beam, which again used to have a black streak in the middle. I'm still probably gonna tweak it some more and make it look a little bit better. Excuse me. Then we have our green beam. This is a new one. So this one, I was thinking along the lines of like a healing beam you might use in a game. It's got a little lime greenish neon particles going up. We've got our lightning, which I think looks really neat. I'm gonna make some more lightning soon. Different variants of it, colors and noise complexities and things like that. We have our beam shot, which could be used as like a blaster. Pretty simple one. Then we have this new one, the wave beam. This one, I think it's pretty silly. I think it's really interesting one. This could be used for, I'm not really sure what this could be used for, but I think it's a pretty interesting one. You could use it for some kind of silly effect, something like that. And we have our explosions. So I've updated this one to have these little sparks that go around it now, right there. This is a new one, the mine explosion. Could be used for like a landmine or something similar. Excuse me. We have this explosion. Boom. This one I've updated. This is so now it kind of collapses into the center and then re-explodes into the white explosion. Before it was just the white explosion part. Now it has the little collapse part as well. Gives it a nice effect. We have our wave explosion. Still very, I don't know what could this be used for, some kind of sci-fi nuke. That might be interesting. We have our fires. So I've made a new fire material, and I've made this fireball look a lot better. It has actual animated materials and some rotation, so it gives it a more random look, while still being very symmetrical, spherical wise. This is the fire stream, and I'll show you in the gameplay. I actually have this set up as a weapon, as a beam kind of weapon, except it's fire and not actually using a beam. But this could be used for kind of like a fiery, really kind of like a fiery beam. Same kind of concept. It's got some extra particles going around it. Starts big at the start point. We have our shrinking fire, and the fires now have smoke, which is a nice addition. We have our small fire. This one looks a lot better now. It also has smoke. So this one now has the animated materials as well, and makes it look a lot more realistic. It's got a bigger radius. It's not the thin little thing anymore. We have our plasma flame, is what I call this one. Small Fire 02. That's its technical name. This one is updated a little bit. We have our vibrant yellow. This one is unchanged from the last time. Still looks kind of like a silly cartoon effect. Moving on, we have our impacts. This is the standard kind of beam impact, or maybe like a blaster hit kind of thing. This is the black beam effect. So this might be paired with the black beam from the beginning. And this one kind of similar to like a black hole or void effect. And this was a really fun one to make. I think it came out looking pretty nice. This could be used for several different things, I think. And yeah, that's the black hole or black beam effect. Impact. Now we have a new fire impact with the animated textures. This one now looks a lot better. We have our lightning impact effect. Here's some sparks. Next we have our magic. And I've added a lot more magic and updated several of the existing ones. This one is unchanged. This is the Octo or buff magic. Something I still think this could be used as like a jump pad kind of thing, as usual. The magic circles of awesomeness, or anything really. Not really sure what all these could be used for, but I think it'd be cool if you had this something that would make it rotate really fast. I think that would look really neat. We have our energy field. This is the inverted, or no, this is the regular one. This one is obviously going outward. Then we have our energy field inverted, so it goes inward, just like that. Do a center point using a this is using a point gravity. Now we have this new one. This is a new magic, the Evil Aura. So when I was creating this one, I had in mind a similar effect. If you ever played Skyrim and you have the preview of some of the the Fury spell, it kind of had the red aura going with the little particles floating around it and everything. I kind of had that in mind when I was creating this one, so it's kind of a similar looking effect. The Frost Burst now kind of pulsates, and it gets smaller as it goes. This also uses a point gravity, and it has a lot of velocity. Then we have our raw energy. This one I've updated to have size by speed, so that way it has kind of a trailing effect to a degree. So that's that, and that's using a vector field. Next, we have our muzzles. Laser muzzle. That's the, yeah, very simple one. We have our other very simple one. This could be used as more like a rifle, less of a sci-fi thing. We have new smoke. This is the smoke burst. It's kind of a sudden burst of smoke, as the name implies. We have this one, which now has embers. Yeah, this one came out looking pretty nice, I think. We have our original smoke, kind of the cartoony gray one. In fact, I'll change the background color a little bit, make it a little bit lighter. Okay, a lot lighter. You can see how that looks. Then we have our sparks. And you can see there, this is one of the original ones, unchanged. We have our other burst. Then we have our, now these next two are interesting. They're more creative, or more abstract, not really regular things. This is the horizontal spark burst. This can be used for a lot of things. And the other one is the same thing, but it's continuous. It's kind of a center point there. This was a really fun one to make. And finally, we go back to explosions. There's one that I skipped. This is the mushroom cloud explosion, and this one is this one took a little bit of creativity to make. So for this one I actually used a vector field. So the smoke comes out from the center, and I used a vector field that I made in Blender to create the mushroom cloud effect, which is it looks a lot better from the ground view. You can see I had the flash at the beginning. Excuse me. And that creates a mushroom cloud effect. The vector field I'm also including in the back, as well as a few other vector fields, and you can see it repeats. And that's the mushroom cloud. So there you go. These are my particle effects so far. I will be continuing to update and add more, and eventually it might get to the point where I can't video it as well, because there might be a whole lot and it gets hard to make videos of that many. But I might release them in kind of, release them in kind of series or categories of them. But yeah, so I plan to have at least 15 or so of each category. So far I have 6 of several of these. And now I will show you what I have done for the gameplay. So this is more for testing. So if we go to emitter use, I'm going to use this is the beam that we're going to use. For this one, oops, wrong thing, particle test. So we have the fire stream here, beam test, we have lightning, beam shot, we have our, this should be the, whoops, beam shot. Next we have the, let's see, shot used, whoops, wrong one, did it again. Alright. So now I will show you what happens. The beam shot hit, this will be the black hole effect. Muzzle, that's all good. Beam hit, particle hit, yes. Alright. Here is what happens. So first we have the fire effect. Spawning fires. And the impact effect. We have the lightning effect, spawning sparks, which spawns far too many. I'm going to make something that makes them spawn not as much. Next we have the blaster. And this one, using the beam shot effect, spawns little sparks everywhere. They have collision. And finally, we have this guy. It's kind of hard to see, but watch what happens when I hit the wall. So this uses the black hole effect, or the magic. I think that's the category it was in. So yeah, that's what I have so far, and I will show you one more thing. If we go to the excuse me, particle test, change this to the beam green. I'll show you what the green beam one looks like. I didn't change the hit effect, but yeah, so that's what the green one looks like. Actually, that hitting effect actually kind of fits a little bit. And there you go. So that is what I have so far. This blueprint probably won't be included with it. This is made more for testing, and I think there's a lot more you can do with the particle effects than just weaponry, obviously. There's going to be all kinds of different things you can do with them. So thank you for watching.